Hello everybody. Hi, this is Alicia, your friendly neighborhood cartoonist lady. Welcome back to Studying the Masters. If you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, either way, thank you so much for tuning in with me today. And I appreciate you returning for the second part of this lovely image from the concept art department of My Neighbor Totoro. So let's keep on and pick up where we were at before. Let me see if I can make this screen any bigger. Let's see. Let me see. I think that's probably about as good as we're gonna get right now. Alright, so I'm gonna keep on looking at the reference, getting as nice as we can. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull in a little bit though, so you guys can see more of. Let's see. Does it go sideways or no? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't go sideways. Well, that kind of sucks. Oh well. This is not so bad. Let's see. So just try and make it fit the screen. Alright. Well, this is probably about as good as I'm gonna get it for the moment. But it's not so bad. So we're gonna keep on moving. Alright. Let's see, what can we talk about today? It's kind of a hold on. Need a little bit of water. Sorry about that. It's kind of a cloudy day out here today. It's a little bit on the cloudy side. Zoom in. And it's just one of those kind of dreary days, you know? And it's also one of those days where I kind of feel like the weather. Every once in a while I feel kind of like the weather, you know? And sometimes it's nice when you feel like the weather and it's sunny and it's bright outside and, you know, everything feels hopeful and encouraging and all of that stuff. But then some days it's just like, man, not that much. Kind of on the not that much side today. But, I mean, what can you do? It's like, I guess life is just going to have to go on regardless, and you just got to keep moving. I don't want to sound cliche or nothing, but it is, I think it's true. We just kind of have to kind of go with the ebbs and flows of whatever is happening. And I don't know, like, what you guys believe or how much you guys feel like you have control over, you know, at least, you know, partially what happens to you in life. I think that could be kind of true. Well, I think that is true. We do have a lot of control into what happens in our lives because we make decisions every single day. Some of them might seem small, but have like big, you know, effects to them. And I just wonder like how much of that we apply every single day, you know? Anyway, that's just my little random soapbox moment of a thought, I guess. But it is Inktober. I don't know if you are partaking in the festivities. I don't usually. I mean, sometimes I do, but I can't say that I'm terribly into Halloween. I dig it, you know, somewhat. I like some of the things that happen with. Oops, wrong there. I like some of the stuff for Halloween. I like some of the spooky movies. I mean, I think we can like legitimately say that good scary movies just don't happen anymore. I think that is 100% a reasonable thing to say because it's been 10 years plus since I've seen a decent new horror film be released. And I've watched quite a few and I don't see them anymore. They're just not being made. I don't know if they're not being made well or just people are just remaking the same things or like sequeling things that came out 30 years ago. Cough, cough, you know, Candyman, whatever. I don't know. I didn't watch the new Candyman. I'm honestly not interested. It's too late for quote unquote sequel. I'm not trying to be a little Miss Negative Nancy, but I mean, sometimes somebody's got to be a little bit realistic about, come on. Why do we need a remake of everything? I don't know. Can you imagine just like a whole remake of all of these films, like done by a Cartoon Network or something? I don't know. It's just, I think we can overdo it with the remakes. I think there's too many of them. There's not enough new original content coming out that I see, that I would like to see. Well, there are, I'm not saying that there aren't any, but just not enough comparably to the amount of things that are coming out. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. What is original though is that Squid Games that everyone is talking about. Apparently, at least from what I saw on my Facebook, and everything you hear from Facebook has to be true. But I saw that the creator of that series had tried, I guess selling his show idea many times and was rejected, and he kept on getting he was trying for over 10 years or something is what I've heard, and then he finally got picked up by Netflix and now has a #1 show in 90 countries. He's like the new Tiger King. I mean, really, I don't know what to, I mean, it's kind of amazing, but I don't know. Anyway, I saw it in my screenwriting group, which I wouldn't classify myself as a screenwriter particularly, but I do write my own stories. But I joined that group when I was trying to get into the screenwriting program for my master's degree, a year ago, 2 years ago. Anyway, I didn't get in, but I realized more or less that I was just trying to do that too. I mean, I do enjoy creating my own stories, but I mean, the only reason why I create stories anyway is to draw them. You see, writing is not my first gift by any means, or if I was to have a gift. I mean, I've become a learned writer. It's definitely not a natural thing for me. I've had to really take notes and figure out how the craft is done, whereas with drawing I've taken a lot of notes on it too, but it just came to me, I think, more naturally, and I didn't have to force it, as I felt like I was really, whenever I sit down to write, I really have to kind of force myself to do it. You need to get this done now. You've procrastinated for 4 months, it's time to do it. But when it comes to drawing, it's just okay, I'm gonna draw now. that's about it. There's no in a normal sense, in a normal day, there's no hesitation. Every once in a while, of course, I have my bad days and I don't feel like doing much of anything, but there are days when I'm I don't really feel like drawing that thing today or whatever. It happens. So, I mean, I guess that's one thing we can talk about too, is just when you know if something feels natural for you, or if you're forcing it. And as one of the things that I hear other artists have talked about on YouTube, and especially when it comes to people who are trying to learn how to draw and really want to get good at it, want to get professional level good, you want to get a job at DreamWorks or whatever, Netflix and all these companies. But let me tell you one thing. When I was first trying to get a job in animation, not when I was actually in art school. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't even say I gave it a full effort then, because I was so afraid at that time that I didn't really put my best foot forward, because I just said, I'm definitely not good enough to work at Disney. I'm not even gonna apply. That was I was way too afraid for the big dogs back then. But now I'm still afraid. But it's not the same. I don't feel like not good enough anymore. I don't have that feeling that I had before, or at least not as strong. I'm not gonna say it's completely gone. I still kind of doubt and wonder, am I? But definitely not the same on the same level like before. I'll say that much. But yeah, if you feel about drawing the way I've kind of felt about writing, which is like, okay, I'm gonna force myself to sit down and do this and draw something that I've been procrastinating on for months. Is that something that you really want to do for a living? What is it that's stopping you? Is it that, sometimes procrastination doesn't come from lack of natural talent. Sometimes procrastination could be like a block somewhere else. And I noticed that with my own self. And I'm saying this, and as I'm saying this, I realize, hey, there's things that I've procrastinated on that were art related or were drawing related. And I do procrastinate on. Even now. Am I still drawing on the wrong? Oh, dang. I've been on the wrong wheel for a minute. Oh, God. Oh, I knew it. Let me see. How much did I do on the wrong layer? Damn. I don't know if you guys ever, probably not, but if you've ever seen Martin, God damn. What should I do? Should I redraw the whole thing? Maybe. Oh, dang, it's her whole body. Oh, damn. What should I do? Should I redraw it? I'm not going to be able to get the same. I don't know. I don't even know if it will undo that much. Let's see. If it will undo the whole line, then I guess I can do it again. That's a lot. Oh, well. I'm just gonna keep it there, because whatever. I don't know, I feel like, I don't know if I should keep it or if I should lose it. What should I do? Let's see. Right, undo it more. I don't know if it's not even undoing anymore. Damn. Alright then. I'll just have to work with it somehow. Now I still have to redo part of it anyway. Oh well. What can you do? Anyway, let me lock this now. I'll have to do like a multiply or something with the shadow, but oh well. Anyway, what was I saying? Procrastination. I realize, and natural talent. I realize too that I sometimes have like procrastinated on things that I do actually want to do, but there could be like the fear. It could be like one of the things that I learned from, not to bounce all over the place, but I recently learned something from, I heard it in like several times before, because it's like an audiobook that I have, and this is at least my fourth time listening to it, and it's by Oprah. It's called The Path Made Clear. Thank you. But I listened to the book several times before, and I'm listening to it again, and it just part of the book stood out to me that had never stood out to me before, and it just made me really think about it, like, because it was like the more important a thing is to your, it's like to your soul's destiny. It was like something really like dramatic like that, or your soul's growth or something like along those lines. It was like more important a thing is to like it's like you becoming like everything you're meant to be, sort of a thing, the more that you will resist it. And it really like popped out at me that time. I was just like, whoa, that's kind of deep. And it just made me think, like, you know, sometimes you're resisting the very thing that you want the most. And I definitely think that that can happen sometimes. And I definitely think that I do that sometimes. She was like talking about her giving a speech at Harvard, and she was feeling nervous because she didn't realize why at first. But you know, she was just thinking it was like, oh well, you know, I'm not gonna have anything of value to tell these genius students at Harvard. But she realized later it was because she was having a hard time starting her network, and everyone knew about it. Everyone knew she was having this hard time with her network, and that was like the big resistance for her. And it really made me think like, wow, are you resisting something because you just don't enjoy doing it, or are you resisting something because you're afraid of the results? Maybe sometimes the fear of success can be stronger than the fear of failure, I wonder. Because you're like, it was like, her friend was on there, Iyanla. I don't know if you guys probably have no idea who these people are. You should at least know who Oprah is, if anything. But you might not know who Iyanla is. But she used to come onto Oprah's show and give really like straight to it facts, sort of like the black woman version of Dr. Phil. Would be the best way I could describe Iyanla. And what else can I say? And I'm black, by the way. But I don't know how else to say. I don't know. It's just like you gotta figure that part out. Am I resisting this thing because if you're doing something completely unimportant to your soul's growth, like you're just playing video games or something, you gotta really think, what do you want in your life? Do you really even want to be successful? Or because playing video games is definitely not going to make you successful. And I say that from someone who used to play way too much World of Warcraft, you know, and I had to really give that up and give gaming up, kind of, in a sense. I still play, but just not, I don't make it my, it's just like a, I don't know, such a non-factor of life nowadays. But there's times, definitely clumps of my life that I saw that I was really giving it way more focus than I needed to, or should have been. So if you're putting a lot of focus into things that don't matter, you gotta really think, like, what's important to you? Do you even care about, like, having a career in art? Because, oh yeah, going back to like I was saying before, I way underestimated how hard it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty easy. I'm like, I know how to draw. This should be like nothing. I was putting like loose pen doodles on my website and stuff. I didn't even bother to clean it up. It was being lazy, to be honest. It was just like being lazy. Like, I didn't think it was like gonna be that hard. Like, this should be easy. Until I realized that the people, and I think I said this last week, the people you are competing with are the people you look up to. Like, why should they hire you if they could hire Glenn Keane, to do this thing? And it sounds like, ooh, well, am I and Glenn Keane applying for the same job? Sometimes you could be. And if you're not doing something on the same level, then you might not get the job. Like, you really have to be, like, just about as good as the person who you most look up to, who's in that position that you want right now. You might not want to do traditional art. You might be a 3D artist, and that's a different story. But you have to look at who is, the top guy in 3D art right now. And how do I stand up? How do I measure up to that person? It's a tough game, but it's kind kind of like, well, we have to play. I mean, other than, I mean, even if you look at like internship programs, most of them still expect you to be at a much higher than average level. They don't want somebody who is, you know, kind of wet behind the ears and doesn't know what they're doing. They want like grade A stuff because they're paying big money. I mean, the rates for people in the industry are actually pretty high. I mean, especially for people like us who are trying to do something that we love. But even still, it's like, it still is, it's still a good amount of money. I mean, obviously we just sometimes, if we were to really like a project, we might do it for a lot less, but there's standard rates that they have to kind of go by because of, you know, the, what is it called? The unions that they have in place. Just the way it's set up, there's just a certain amount that's fair for artists to make, and there's a certain amount that's not. So when you think about what they have to shell out to get, you know, for a feature film or for a nationally, internationally televised show, they gotta pay you a good amount of money, so you can't be basic. That's what I'm basically trying to say. You can't be like average, and I thought you just had to be a little bit, I don't know. When I first was thinking about like really, you know, going after it, I thought it was going to be a lot easier, and it's not. It wasn't. And now I'm like, okay, it's even harder than I could have even imagined. If I knew it was going to be so hard, I probably would never moved out here, honestly, because I would have given up. But I'm still trying. Still got my foot in the game, so to speak. But I just wanted to like say, you know, it's not an easy game that we're playing here. This is real stuff. This is real stuff. So if you're in your 20s and you're spending a lot of time playing video games, the top people are not doing that. Just want to let you know. But there are some people, even very young people, who are working really hard. That's what I want to say too. It's like there's some people that understand this right away, especially like international people, to be honest. Like they already know this is the case and are definitely trying, because you gotta like leave your whole home country to come out here and work. So I don't know, it's like, what are you going to do then? What are you really going to do? Yeah, I'm not trying to discourage anybody. Hopefully I don't come off as that way. I just want to like tell you what I wish I knew 10 years ago. It would have helped me save some time. Or not even, more than that, 12 years ago when I started animation school, I wish they would have talked to me as soon as I came into that school. Maybe I would have been ready, I don't know. I mean, probably my brain wouldn't have been mature enough, but I don't know. I think in some ways they should kind of let you know what you're in for. Like, if you really want this, you're going to have to, like, break a sweat. I mean, even if you don't plan to work for a studio, if you want to be like, you want to be on top. What did I just think of, like, America's Next Top Model? I know, I'm ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't even think the younger generations even know what that show is. But Tyra Banks used to do a thing. That's all I have to say about that. And if you don't know who Tyra Banks is, then I think she's hosting. What is she hosting now? I don't know. She's hosting something at this point. And this is the clean line. To label your stuff when you can. And let's see. be this dark. Let's see. A little bit less saturated, I think. And now I'm just gonna like go through some of these bushes and whatnot, trying to get this more traditional look. Even in some here, it's kind of like this. Kind of like hand done shading stuff. So, I don't know if you guys saw, but I did a whole explanation on my relationship with anime last week. It's too much? I don't know. I just wanted to let you guys know where I was coming from, and that's about all I got for you. Oh gosh. So pathetic. Might even come back and do like the little smear. That's like the little smear that the pencil leaves, or like there's like another layer. I'm gonna get some of that in there as well. Definitely they went over the pencil with like some watercolor, just to like blend that down some. Just want to get some of that. Let's see what else we can do. I'm not gonna copy it like verbatim. I just want to get it as, you know, close to as possible without obsessing over it, I guess. I guess that's the best word I can think of. Alright. What else can we talk about? Since I'm doing these little sketch stuffs. Let's see. I don't know. You guys come up with something. Let's see. My mind is bedazzled slightly by this background. Oh, I didn't draw his little stick. I gotta do that. This little flag. I missed out. Let me go back to that really quickly. Forgot he had this little stick. Like a little leaf flag. Let's see. But I think it's good too, because like I said last week, I'm not like a hyper super fan of Miyazaki, but I got a chance to see a lot of the studio's work, and I was really impressed, and it made me want to do like this videos. But you don't have to be a super fan of somebody's content necessarily to want to learn from them. You can just like really like something that they're doing. Like maybe they're onto something that you just catch a glimpse of, and you say, hey, I want to learn how they did that. That is enough reason by far to like want to study somebody. It doesn't have to be like, you know, only like, and I think it's actually kind of good to kind of study somebody that you might not know as well or don't follow as often, just because it kind of helps to diversify your style language. That might be a mouthful of a term there, but I think you know what I mean for the most part. It's just like you want to give yourself some variety, right? You want to learn how to do things differently than just the way you always do them all the time. Maybe just switch it up a little bit. That can just make a big difference. Just trying out something like you say somebody's doing something that, you know, you think is kind of neat that you haven't seen done before or whatever. And why not switch? Why not give it a try and see how you do with it? Really what I'm doing here. Okay, let me see that. Alright, walk that back. Go back here. And take my line back down. Maybe I need to zoom out a little bit. See this whole thing a little bit better. And they're not, if you can see how you notice how I'm doing the leaves, like they weren't paying like super close attention to like getting the leaves to look exactly like perfect leaves. And it's just not necessary all the time. Sometimes you just want to do like, oops, what did I do? What happened? Oh dang, what's wrong here? I don't know what happened, but for some reason I got to the wrong layer again. Crud. What? Alright. Sorry. Let me just... Dang. Alright. I'm gonna just keep acting like nothing happened. Because sometimes it's just better that way. But like I was saying, it's not like they're trying to make the leaves, all the leaves look like perfect maple leaves or whatever. I don't think they're paying too much attention to the exact type of tree it is or bush or whatever. Even though it's, you know, it's still done beautifully. It's what I'm saying is you don't gotta like it. Sometimes it's good to kind of keep it loose, especially when you're doing this type of stuff, like the visual development type of work. You don't want it to look like you're making a Rembrandt or something, because you're not. You're still making something beautiful, but it's a different aesthetic. So just thinking about the aesthetic and what it is, you know, you're trying to do, and what I get from these kind of fun, sketchy little leaves, is just, it feels playful to me. And I don't think there's a difference between not having the skill and choosing when to use a looser line. So I think it's important to not feel like you have to like try to prove yourself too much, I guess that's the word. It's like making visual choices, I think. That's probably the best way I can describe it. You know, what I'm getting at least from this type of art. Knowing when to keep it playful and fun. I think that will make a difference in your art overall. I think so for sure. What else can I say about what's happening here? Well, I don't think I need to. It's kind of self-explanatory. Let's talk about something else. I feel kind of like talking to you about this sort of a terrible weekend I had. Maybe it'll help me to get over it. I don't know. But despite my charmed life drawing funny pictures or whatever, I sometimes have a hard time. And I have like, I don't know how else to like put it, but I just have like a hard time sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I'm like dealing with issues from my past, or it's just I'm trying to figure out how to deal with certain situations when they come up, and I will like explain better, but I'm just trying to like set the tone, I guess, of where I'm coming from. And I don't know, it's super hard to like talk about. Well, it's not hard to talk about because I feel pretty comfortable with this platform just because I've been doing it for a while, despite my incredibly minimal audience. I've been doing this for a while. How long did I been doing YouTube? A couple years anyway. But it really helps me to like feel comfortable. So if you have a hard time with talking in front of people, around people, making conversation, but you want to like begin doing that, you might want to think about vlogging or doing some sort of a video blogging program, because it definitely helps you to become more comfortable with your own voice and realize that especially if you have like awkward situations with people where it just gets silent, because this sort of an outlet really can train you to notice those moments and how to fill in the blanks, so to speak, kind of give yourself kind of like on the spot training. Okay, well, I'm the only one here who's going to be making conversation with myself, so let me think of something to talk about. It helps. It definitely does help. So, you know, if you're ever having those types of things going on, then like maybe you might want to think about a vlog, even if it's like on a smaller site than like YouTube. YouTube can be kind of intimidating. But I mean, you're probably not gonna get as many people viewing as you think. As me, you know, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, a million people are gonna see me like struggling to talk. No, they're not gonna watch. Trust me, I know all these things. But anyway, I had a hard weekend. It was a lot to do with like family stuff. It was weird because I had like a dream about it beforehand, so it was like, I don't know if you ever have like premonitions about things or believe in premonitions, but I'm believing more and more about premonitions because I've had a few of them, and they seem to be coming true. And I don't feel like it's scary particularly, but it's definitely what makes you double think stuff like, oh, maybe I should pay attention to this. Maybe I should be paying attention to these dreams or whatever that I'm having that's giving me these sort of insights that, you know, I wasn't thinking about before. So anyway, I had a hard weekend, and I had this dream, like, because I don't know, a few of you guys know that I'm working on this project, and it's my comic. It's my first graphic novel that I've been working on, and haven't worked on anything else in my life that felt like it was such a challenge and stretched me and made me grow. And it's just been like a long time in the making, right? I've been working on it, and even had like sort of been heckled about it, like, okay, you keep saying you're gonna do it, it's not done yet, and you know. But I was trying to like push myself. Wasn't even telling people. I was telling people about my project just so that I would kind of force myself to not give up. I don't know if you've ever done that tactic before, but it can work for you. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody. Some people just say, "Yeah, I told people," and then then I forgot about it. But if you do really care about this thing that you say you're working on, then you will finish. So anyway, told lots of people about it. Got heckled a little bit, but mostly got like, positive feedback. People who are doing similar types of things, as far as like in the same genre. It doesn't have to be the same, not even the same genre, in the same art form. People are in comics or animation, and you tell them you're doing personal projects, then for the most part they'll be supportive of you. That's one thing that I've learned. What else? But I realized that some close family that I had that I didn't feel like was being as supportive as like I needed or wanted them to be. And I really have, I don't know how to put it. Yes, I do. Let me just take a second to like kind of put my thoughts in together for a moment. But how can I explain it? This eraser actually going to erase. Let's see. I don't know. Anyway, how can I explain it? So anyway, I was feeling kind of, dang, why does it keep switching? There. Anyway. Where was I? Oh yeah, so anyway, I was feeling like I had this family that wasn't as supportive as like I wanted them to be, and I hate like saying, oh, this is my time to shine or whatever, but I had an art show, like, it was a makeup actually from the graduate show that I didn't get to have because I graduated from my graduate program in 2020, and as you know, everything was basically canceled in 2020. So anyway, way down on that, and add some more layers, because you guys know watercolors are all about layers. I'm going to put them on multiply. So anyway, how do I get into it? So anyway, I had a dream that it was a different family member. I had a dream that it was like, I can tell you guys probably who the other family member was that I had the actual dream about. It was actually had a dream about my sister, and my sister and I are not on speaking terms. We haven't talked in a few years, and why, I'll just leave that out of the picture for now. But it's a long story, and it's been a long troubled relationship. I'll say that much, and I think that she would agree as well. It's been a long troubled relationship. But anyway, I had a dream that was her, and it was like she was doing the exact same type of project that I was doing, and was getting all these like acknowledgement from my mother, which is so weird. It's like she's not even in the same field as me at all, like just not. So it didn't make sense, and that, so I didn't really get that. But it was like the same it wasn't the same project, but it was like the same sort of a concept. And I was just upset because, you know, my my mom was kind of ignoring me in my dream and was like, hey, I've been doing all this work. Aren't you going to acknowledge what I'm doing? And it's weird because I don't consider myself like an attention hog or anything like that at all, but it just, in a dream, it was weird. And then I woke up, whatever. But it was after, actually, that my mom did tell me that she was going to be coming to visit me for the show that I was going to be doing. So I was excited about the show, but I was a little bit weirded out by the dream. And wasn't really sure exactly what I was going to do. Sorry, it's a little bit darker. A little bit darker here. Yeah, that needs to be another brush. So let me see something else. So anyway, my mom was coming. She actually came, and then when she got here, it was really weird because I realized that nobody really knew what my project was about, and it was like, come on, you guys are like the closest people to me, but you don't know what I'm doing. You haven't really talked to me about this project, and I'm like just kind of questioning like myself. Have I not talked about it enough? But then that sort of came to like a quick no, because I'm like, I know I talk about my project, but it was really strange. It was really strange how, but the thing is, I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but let me for a little while. I don't know how to explain it. It's just going to take me a minute. It's going to take me a little bit of a minute, because it is kind of hard to talk about, to be honest. But I don't know. I think it's just the fact that it felt like my dream was kind of coming into reality, but it's in a different format than I had pictured it. It wasn't my sister that was in real life, but it was someone else that was close to me. And I don't know, it's just so bizarre how different things can affect us. And it definitely, but it made me think, like, too, I need to have a really tough skin with this. I can't let anyone, even people close to me, kind of get me discouraged from my project. But if you're not careful, they really, really can, unmeaningly or unwittingly, or whatever the word is, people might not necessarily mean you any harm, but they can really hurt your feelings if you let them. So how do you deal with that? What does that even look like, you know? This is something to think about. It's just something to really think about. Feels heavy. It still is kind of, I think it's still kind of raw in a sense for me, because it was really painful, and I realized how much I am concerned, with how you might not necessarily be, so taken back by the way a complete stranger responds to your art, and I say, oh, you suck, or whatever, and you're just like, okay, whatever. But when it's your family or someone that you really care about, who shows interest or lack thereof, or has a negative comment or something to say, then that can really throw you off your game if you're not ready for it. And that was, I think, the biggest takeaway, was that I wasn't ready for that, and I didn't know how to express it. So I don't know, that's sort of how I take it. But I guess there's a million ways that you could like kind of see it happening. So it's kind of weird, but that was where I was over the weekend. I was in a dark space in a difficult time. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but I think you can get like what I mean. I think you can. Yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at. It was a rough weekend. Now what? Now what do we do? Sometimes it's like nothing you can do. Or it feels like it. Feels like, okay, well, I guess I can't do anything about it, but I don't know. Maybe we have more. Should be way brighter. Use the bright blue again. I need more texture. Let me see if I can find a more textured brush. Sometimes these things are too about like experimenting. Oftentimes it's a lot of experimentation. So what happened in the end? I guess you're wondering, or not. At the end of the day, I mean, it's more complicated. That's all I can say. It's just complicated, but it's no hard feelings, but it's just like, damn, It's like, damn. Alright, let's see what other brushes we can do. I'm supposed to have like some wet media brushes in here somewhere. I think I have watercolor somewhere or something. There's wet media. What this one looks like. Ooh, that's kind of cool. See how that goes on. Maybe darker. It's not showing up. Why isn't it showing up? See it, but let me see. I'm not gonna leave it this blue. Don't worry. That's alright. Let's see. Like some dark green. Deeper green. actually kind of cool. I just gotta, oops, figure out how to get how I want it. Ooh, looks better when you stroke it up. Upwards. That's nice. Alright, so I'm gonna add some texture to my characters. I'm not gonna overkill it. We got like 30 minutes, so I'm gonna try and make the most of it. Lock that background in so I don't mess with it. That one too. And let's see, what's this? Okay. Why didn't I put that down there? Where's the background stuff? So now that I think I know where my characters are, I'm going to go ahead and start adding some shadow. I'm going to take this color, let's see what we can do with it. And texture too. Oops. That didn't work. Option. Let me make it a clipping layer. Still too big. And likely, probably shouldn't be using this brush either. Oh, this one doesn't work. Let me try using my big weirdo brush, which I like that one too. Oh, there goes my pencils. I didn't know where they were for the longest. Pencil brushes is under what? It's under the giant. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was there. I got so many pencils now. Alright. Let's dry media. Oh my gosh, I have way too many brushes. Too many. Dry media, but there's like 4 different categories of dry media. There, that makes it easier when you can just go on ahead and type it in. So big dry reader, that's what I was looking for. I think I'm gonna make that a lot bigger. Probably should have if I was thinking better. No, maybe I don't know. If I was thinking better, I would have done the belly on a different layer. But I was not, so I'm just gonna deal with it now. Try to erase what I'm not going to use. back in with a smaller brush and kind of clean it up a little bit. Alright, so let's zoom in and do a little bit on his face. So I'm going to take that color, bring it down a little bit less saturated. I might need to get another brush yet. Now it's just paying a little bit of attention to detail. I'm just take. I wonder if I should. Yeah, I should just. I was gonna start putting in a little bit of the light areas, but I think I should probably make a little bit more sense to just focus on the shadow first, then come back in with the light. And if you have any ideas for which one we should do next week, which one we should work on, then you can definitely mention that in the comments. I'm glad to hear any suggestions anyone might have as far as what we should do. That could be really cool. Remember, like when we were doing I had to learn this the hard way because it took me forever to kind of figure out how to do digital to make it look sort of traditional, and it still is like, honestly, I've learned how to do it from doing these studying the masters. If it wasn't for this series, I still think I would have been struggling with how to make the digital look more like the traditional because I didn't really get it. I tried, but I had a hard time learning how to use color for the longest time. It just wasn't easy for me to get. But doing this process has helped me to really think about it and realize it's layers. You need to do the multiple layers and you need to vary up the color variation. So I'm going to make the shadow, I can go like this, but if I just want to add texture to this, I gotta go over it again with another brush, but I gotta change the color just a little bit, and I can go over and I can give it some texture. But you definitely need 2 or more layers to have texture, or else it just doesn't happen. Alright. Take a lighter version of that. Too light. Just want a little bit lighter. But thoughts, opinions. Let me know what y'all think. about this series. This is my first. This is still my first. My first concept art from Miyazaki. Last week we started it, did the sketches and everything. This week, kind of cleaning it up, getting it on the final level. We did start a cleanup last week, but now we're really kind of finishing up the cleanup. And don't be afraid to like add in little parts. I was about to take out that little highlight on his head because it's not in the original, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to leave it there. Think about stuff like that. How you add even just a little bit of a suggestion here and there, because we don't need it to be exactly the same. We want to learn from it. We want to take pointers from it, but if you feel confident about adding something, then you can do that too. No one's going to call the police. Say, hey, they added something to their remake of Miyazaki. It's okay. I'm not trying to pass it off at a museum or something as the original. We're just trying to learn from it. So, give it a try. You never know what can happen. Okay, gonna add a little bit of texture to his eyes even, just to give it a little bit of a, not a lot, just a little something, something. This guy over here, let's see what we can do with him. Same thing, we'll start with the shadowies. Adding some of that in there. Let's see, hold on a second. This was another brush I really like. This one is the Air and Blaze brush. I'm going to go ahead and use this one as well. This one gives really nice texture. This one is Pastel C. It's Air and Blaze brush, so I'm not sure how much his brushes are going for right now on his website, but you can definitely check it out, creatureartteacher.com. See if you see something that you like on there. Bit lighter and give it a little bit of variety over here. Okay. Eyes too, give them a little bit of variation. And I'm gonna add a little bit of light to him also. I'm just doing like one character, all the stuff that they need at once. I don't wanna totally go back and forth on the whole thing. I just wanna do one character at a time. Please let me know if you have questions about any of this stuff. I know some of you guys are not like that, whatever you call it, but I know some of you guys out there watching who do much better renditions. But if there's something I'm doing that is, you know, piquing your curiosity, you can always let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. You know, think I'm doing him any justice, or if I'm, you know, kind of tarnishing his image. But I don't think it's that horrible. Hopefully not. But, you know, just let me know what you guys think. But adding a couple of, just going over a couple times with that brush can really get you some nice textures, huh? I love Photoshop. What would we do without Photoshop? Forget Facebook shutting down. What if Photoshop was just gone? It's like, no! And Procreate? Oh, artists will be crying everywhere. I'd be. Shoot, that would hurt me way more than the Facebook shutdown. Photoshop shutdown. No thanks. I don't wanna live that life. Who wants a world without Photoshop? Or Procreate? You're both gone at the same time? Oh, we'd have a hard time. That's when I guess it's good to know how to use the traditional mediums. If you don't know how to use them, you better start learning. You never know. They could try and get us, just like how Facebook did. You never know, man. Don't trust anybody. It's kind of true though. Just a little bit. Just saying. Oh, he's a cute guy, this one. I don't know what his name is, but he's cute. Looks like he's got just a little bit of a chin there. So little slightly though. Lighten up just because it's so bright. Okay, are we still, how are we doing? Are we doing alright? Let's see, I might go ahead and touch up this guy just a little bit more. Totoro, big guy. Tell me somebody, what is the flying cat? Is that actually Totoro as like a cat version? Because it looked like Totoro, but it just was like a big cat. I don't know. I didn't get the cat part. The cat bus. I didn't really get it. I don't know if it's him or what. I was trying to figure it out, but I'm not sure. So if you know what that means, was that part of the no, it wasn't the imagination. It was like the real thing, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm still not totally sure if Totoro was like an imaginary friend or not. I'm not sure. I don't know. I need help. I need like someone to tell me, because I'm not definitely not like a fact person with this stuff, because I just don't know enough. So I definitely am willing to be taught. Anyone knows? Well, I'm sure lots of people know because I know there's a fandom out there. Anyone knows who's watching and would like to share their knowledge of this film that I really enjoyed, but I just didn't fully understand like who was what, that sort of a thing. Or like who was real and what was real and what was fake, I should say. Or what was real and what was not fake but imagined. Alright, so we're just about done with this guy. Our very first Hayao Miyazaki recreation or reimagining. Didn't I say that stick with remakes? Well, not when it comes to drawing. That only applies to like, other stuff that's not meant for practice. There. Practice is a whole other ballgame. Alright, I think that's kind of it. I'm gonna add a couple of minor touch-ups to like the let's see. It's in the background I think, but really minor. Just wanted the leaves to pop a little bit more. So I think I will go over some of them. And make it a brighter color. Just wanna give it like some life back there, just a little bit even. Like some blue-green, tealish. Like that, I like it. Won't keep it this bright, but just figuring some of this stuff out, Just want to give it like that pop feeling that I feel like it has. That's not showing at the moment. I want to get it in there. Some of these. This one needs a deeper. take green and sort of pop that down. Some of that in there. Brings it so much more life, right? Just to add a little bit of like that bright color. I think it adds a lot. It'll bring the pacing down and stuff, but I just think just having it there makes a difference. For sure. Any last touches? Let me see. I think that's kind of it. Let's see. Got blue, green, teal. More green in there. A little darker. We do. Multiply. See normal. Let's take that down to like 70. Now I'm just trying to think, is there anything I'm missing? I think if I was to add one more thing, I would go ahead and give it like a darker wash. Like a darker blue. Kind of coming this way. And kind of makes Totoro the star. No, let's see. Soft light. Soft light? No. I think I'm going to call that done. I think I'm going to call that done. And I guess that's it, guys. This was a fun recreation. It's not exactly the same, but it was fun, and I think we learned a lot about our colors and shapes and all of this stuff. And I actually really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but if you do have any ideas, let me know. And we'll keep going next time. Okay? So thanks again for joining me with Studying the Masters. This is season 3 and our second episode, but our first painting still. So I will see you guys next time, okay? And in the meantime, be grateful, live balanced, and be yourself. Keep making that art, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.